Could you tell us about the development in your business areas, transaction switch and e-products distribution?
Well, these two businesses are, of course, well, one of them is where this company started. This the what you call the transaction switch, and that's what we call it internally as well. But actually, the formal name is SDS, Seamless Distribution Systems, and the other one is the distribution business. So a bit confusing there. But the Seamless Distribution Systems had a very nice year last year, and what happened was that we did some changes years back that raised the margins in that business and also made it an easier sellable product. So if you go back 5 years and see what we turned over, I mean, that has been a rocket and still is. But when a number of years ago, we actually limited our scope of the product. And that was a little bit lucky because our competitors, they actually started creating a wider offering to mobile telephone operators. And that hasn't done very well. But we felt in 2015 that now it was time also to grow our product offering. So 40% of sales in that business was actually from new products, such as as I call it, the world's ugliest terminal. We have developed a payment terminal for the African market that has sold really well. And what's unique about that, and part of our design, is that it uses not the data traffic network, but it uses the USSD protocol to communicate the transaction data. And that means that you have coverage everywhere. So that's why it's very popular, because you can be out in the boondocks on the savannah and it still will work. So it's a product that is very good for Africa, for example. Now, in any case, so far so good really with that business. And as I said, that business in itself is a big success story, and we'll hope that we can keep it doing or being a success story. Now, if you look at the distribution business, it's the same, not the same, but it's the similar technical platform. Actually, they come from the base platform from the beginning, and but the difference there is that we actually buy airtime and resell it. Okay, so we're a wholesaler of telecom products, you could say. Telecom products being minutes or SMS or various packages such as friends and family, etc. But we buy it from the operators and then we sell it to retailers. And what our role there is the systems that keep track of everything. But clearly that's sort of a high turnover, low margin business. I think our gross margin varies between 2.5% and 3.5% in that business. And it's a very stable business. It's almost like a utility, and you grow that the large scale benefits of that is such as you reach a certain turnover, the rest is just profit, and we are, I would say, exactly on the break-even break-even turnover there, and will this year make a profit in that business.
During Q4, you announced that payment with SEQR will be possible on all NFC-enabled car terminals. Could you explain what this means and when it will be up and running?
I think what we've said is that you will be able to pay with SEQR through NFC in contactless card terminals. Contactless technology is something that, well, basically I don't think you can buy a card terminal without contactless technology at the moment. And for us, what it will mean is that instead of having to go to merchants and negotiate with them for them to accept our payments, if they have a contactless terminal, which most of them are getting now, then they accept our payments automatically. This means that we go for, I think the latest figure I saw was 24 million terminals in the market globally. And it's growing very, very fast. I heard the number of 40 million too, but 24, let's be conservative about it. But this obviously means that you can go to a country where SEQR as an app isn't downloadable, but you can shop in that country. So if you're in Sweden, you go to Kuala Lumpur and you buy something that's going to work. So that has that effect, that the SEQR acceptance network becomes ubiquitous. But it also has the effect that the merchant has to pay the full card fee to us. And we are then the virtual card issuer, which means that we get most of the merchant service charge that they typically pay. So two things: ubiquitousness, we will be everywhere, and higher earnings per transaction, as a matter of fact.
Could you tell us about the transfer services that SEQR offer and the cooperation with Xpress Money?
I have to be careful because I love this business so much. I can talk a long time about it. But basically what we're looking at is what the market calls peer-to-peer and remittance. For us, it's actually sort of the same thing. I mean, you transfer money via your telephone, okay? Today, you can transfer money. I mean, we're sitting in Sweden right now, so you can transfer money between SEQR users in Sweden, but you can also transfer money between SEQR users in all the countries that we are in. So I can take a phone and I send the money to a friend in the UK right now, okay? But in order to make that transfer business that we could do everything, we wanted a partnership with a money remittance service, and it's just so happened that we were approached by Xpress Money, which is one of the larger ones in the world, where a SEQR user, after we release that, after we go in production, can transfer money from the app and to any person essentially in 150 countries. And the receiver doesn't have to be a SEQR user. So if you think about that a little bit, what we've done here with Xpress Money is that we use their distribution network when it comes to money out, yeah? And they use our money in network. And this is very, very significant because money in for remittance businesses such as Western Union, etc., is a very costly business. It's location based. So the person who wants to remit money has to go to a shop or whatever and then do it from there. With SEQR, you can suddenly access the whole market and people can send money and they can be at home or whatever. So it's I think a very attractive product, but also it becomes much cheaper, and the consumers that use these type of services are very price sensitive.
You have communicated your ambition to bring in investors to SEQR. What does this mean for SEQR and Seamless shareholders?
We told the market this autumn that we had given our advisors a mandate to find a strategic partner for SEQR, which is one of our business divisions, and also separated legally. I mean, we have a legal structure that the divisions are also legal entities. And the reason for that is essentially our share price. And it seems like it would be better to have a strategic partner in an unlisted entity than letting our shareholders fund the long-term growth of SEQR. So it's always a how should one say, we have to try to do the best at any given point for the shareholders, and this seems to be the best. What it means as a shareholder of Seamless is, of course, that post such a transaction, where we take in money at the daughter company level, Seamless wouldn't own 100% of SEQR anymore, but would rather own a percentage of it. And What that percentage is, I mean, depends on how much money we take in and the pre-money valuation of SEQR. And I don't have an answer today on actually when that trade is going to be done or at what price. But as I said, we announced it to the market in the autumn, and the next time we will talk to the shareholders and market about it is when it happened.
Seamless cash amounted to 23 million SEK by the end of 2015. What is your view on the company's finances?
As we noticed, as our share price was going down a couple of years ago, we started asking ourselves if the stock market was the best way to fund this company in a sort of a long-term fashion. And then we looked at the other alternatives to fund the company. And the first thing we started with was saying that our legacy business, the SDS, Seamless Distribution Systems, that you know are very active in Africa and Asia and stuff, is very profitable, and we could sell that. But then that business, due to changes we did years ago, started growing very sharply. And then we said, why sell that now if we could wait for a year and get a substantial more money for it? So what we then decided was to give a mandate to an investment bank to find the industrial partner for SEQR, as we discussed in one of your earlier questions. So I think that's our main track when it comes to funding. But in the meantime, whilst we're waiting for a long-term secure funding that is, that takes this company to the next level, we will do private placements in the market because we get approached by various funds quite often who wants to buy shares in us, and actually very often they say, why don't we buy new shares, because clearly you have a negative cash flow which you need to fund going forward, and we do, yeah. So we have done these small private placements and we'll continue doing that. But of course, if the market should reflect our value in a better way, then suddenly what is best for the shareholders of Seamless then? I mean, so there's a constant evaluation of the best methods, but that's basically it. I mean, a long-term partner into SEQR at this point, the current plan, and in the meantime we'll do private placements in an opportune way, basically.